All right, so if you're in one of the wooded lots, and great for you, if you're in the forest and you've got woodpeckers that are pounding on your house, you need to take care of it. So what can you do? Not a lot. So I've heard many different things from some of my customers. Some of them have home remedies. They got little streamers on it. This guy has a little streamer hanging off of his gable to keep birds away. But the woodpeckers here, if you've got a wood home, they're going to start pounding on your home eventually. They're very territorial, so if they're pecking on your home, they may not be worrying about the neighbor's home. If the neighbor's home is getting drilled, yours may not. So we've had some different homes where they just destroy one whole side. They're pounding on the siding, they're doing the fascia, and then on other homes they do 5 or 10 holes and leave it alone. So I've even had customers where woodpeckers punch holes through their stucco. I didn't believe it until I seen it, and sure in heck it's happening. So I was at an estimate a couple weeks ago, and a woodpecker was on top of somebody's chimney right on the metal cap and just pounding away. It just sounded like a jackhammer. So they're territorial. I'm guessing they're marking their territory, just making as much noise as they want. I used to think that the woodpeckers are digging into your home because they're going after bugs or something, but really what they're doing is they're drilling a hole out and they're packing your house full of acorns. So we've had some customers where we've replaced their siding. They got too many holes. We got to pull a piece of siding off and it just rains acorns down. And that same customer called me about 2 months after we had restained her home. And she says, you got to see what these woodpeckers are doing. And we had already filled, there was probably 2,000 holes on our home that we filled. And 2 months later, I was out there and just the one side had at least 400 holes on it. And while I'm standing there talking to my client, a woodpecker comes up and just lands on the house and starts making a brand new hole. And I'm picking up a little tiny gravel and throwing it up there, and I couldn't hit that woodpecker for anything. And my little tiny pebbles are bouncing all the way around that top, bottom, sides of it. I'm getting within 6 inches of it and it still doesn't move. They don't care about us. We're in their habitat and they're going to stay there. So what we recommend is an electronic device called Bird X, and you can search for it on the internet. It's Bird, B-I-R-D hyphen the letter X, and they've got many different devices. And typically what they say, their devices will work 1 device per acre. So that's most of our homes. I would think that if your home is getting pecked on both sides, I'd get 1 for the one side and 1 for the other side. And you just plug them into an outdoor outlet, you leave them alone. They're weather tight, so you don't have to worry about them. And what they do is they create a distress signal that the birds don't like. So some of them, it's a little tapping noise, and some of it's more of a screeching noise. And you buy the device that if you've got woodpeckers, you want to buy one for woodpeckers. If you've got bats, they've got a device that keeps bats away. I first became aware of this from a customer that had ravens, and the ravens were pecking on their roof. So they had a flat roof and it was foam insulation on top with a coating over it. So great roof system, but soft enough for the ravens to peck on. And the ravens were basically destroying the roof and just pecking and pulling a chunk of the urethane foam out and throwing it away. So birds, bats, ravens, woodpeckers, they got a device. They're relatively inexpensive. I think some of them are $250. The worst case, they're $350. And you can mail order them and plug them in and they'll work. They do have a volume control on it. You don't have to set it at the loudest. You can set it at the quietest setting. Your neighbors will think it's just a natural sound and it'll be perfectly fine. So no reason to turn the volume up and make all your neighbors mad. So plug it in and forget it. That's what we found most of my customers are most happy with. So give that a try.